Welcome to Touching Tornadoes. This is the daily live mood journal. Today is November 13th, 2025. I'm Conrad, and just like yesterday, I have bipolar 1 disorder with psychotic features. I do this mood journal daily to help myself kind of just keep monitoring what I've been through and on a daily basis, and it just keeps me grounded, I guess. I don't even know what that means. People talk about keeping yourself grounded, and the only way, I guess, it keeps me from being manic. I guess if you were committing to doing a daily practice of something like a self-awareness, self-check-in practice to decide exactly how you feel that day. I've never been manic when trying to do this, so I don't know if it actually... I'm hoping that I'll never have to do a daily bipolar mood journal while manic. I'm hoping that the journal keeps that from happening. So that's the point of it. But I have you guys walking with me today because I'm trying to get my brother to come up to see me and bring a truck, and there's a snowplow on a truck and another truck that we could maybe switch them to. So that's kind of the job, but let's do our gratitude check-in. Today I'm grateful for the weather. It's a beautiful day out. There's no wind. Everybody's been talking about the nighttime skies with the northern lights coming through, but we've had pretty good luck this week with our daytime weather also, considering the time of year it is. And so sometimes I'll do these mood journals where I take you on a walk with me, and sometimes I do them in the studio. The point is that I try to just keep doing them. So I'm grateful that I get to do this one while walking. And I'm grateful for my wife and kids. My wife's understand, like, the fact that she caught it, she learned it. She's supportive of this mood journal. She's supportive of me. She still thinks I'm valuable. I think a lot of us feel like we're unvaluable once we have a episode, once we break. And to a lot of people, we lose our value. You know what I mean? I hung on, thank God, to my wife and kids, and they were able to tough it out with me when I had an episode, meaning like learn with me when I had an episode of what was going on. Because I was late diagnosed. My first episode happened when I was 36, and that was just a few years ago. So I already had a wife and kids, and I was an entrepreneur, or I still am, although those businesses have kind of failed, but they stuck with me. And for some of us, that doesn't happen. For a lot of us, it doesn't happen. So got to be grateful for that. And then I am working on the part where the ones that left, the ones that took off, the people when you got diagnosed or had an episode, it's like giving them compassion and hoping that possibly they'll come back around. But if they don't, it depends what kind of energy they bring. Like, this stuff changes you. I'm okay, brother. Oh, it's lagging. Sorry. I'm doing all right, Dark Clown. What's up with you? Yeah, I'm out on a walk. I don't know how good my coverage is. We got like a look at these clouds in the sky. That's probably affected my signal or something. I'm not good at English, but I'm here by accident. But I want to say have a nice day over there, and I hope everything is going great with you and your family. Thank you. Yeah, it is. At least with my immediate family, wife and kids. So I'm grateful for them. We always do a gratitude check-in when we start our mood journal, and I like checking in with you guys. So if you have a comment or want to put something on here, usually I read it. I'm kind of like Ron Burgundy in that way. If you put it on the screen, I'll read it. So if it's lagging, I'm blaming the weather though. Although it's beautiful outside, I can't help it if solar flares affect the T-Mobile's 5G. Dark Cloud's got nothing going on. I hope you're doing all right, brother. Or sister. The thing that's been, I guess my mood's a little lower today than usual. I don't have the energy to run. Typically, I do a jog. I shouldn't say run, but I try to do a daily jog, and I've been doing that for years now. When I first started jogging, I think it was like to kind of help myself from spiraling up. You're all right? Good. But as I spiraled up into my first mania, my jogging kind of became like an obsession. My exercise did. Not kind of, it definitely did. And so since my last episode, which also involved me running barefoot over broken glass and thinking that my exercise regime was being filmed by everyone in the world. You feel like you're on camera, whether it's like I was a government machine or like government soldier or something. I don't know. But I've given myself the grace to be like, if I don't feel like running, just go for a walk, dude. Just walk. So that's what I'm doing. Is my family doing well? Wife and kids are doing great. But I haven't heard from anybody else other than one of my sisters and one of my brothers. They don't stay close with me. Some of that's due to just the fact that that's just the kind of family we have. We don't check in enough with each other. But some of my family members are, after my last episode, I think they kind of just don't want to deal with it. Don't want to deal with me, or don't understand that the illness is episodic, meaning that thank God I'm not locked in that forever, with medication and doing stuff like this. You can come out of an episode and hopefully stay on a daily path to recovery. And I think recovery is never like permanent. It's never like, well, I'll never I get to stop taking medicine now, and I get to stop exercising now, and I get to stop doing mood journals now. I don't think it works like that. I think it's a combination of all these wellness and mindfulness techniques that I have to do on like a daily basis to make sure I don't pop up into a new episode. So for others, it's different. I watch YouTube videos all the time on other people who have bipolar, and they're able to, some of them don't do medication. Some of them say they haven't had an episode in 10 years, So everybody's on a different part of the path. Everybody has a different opinion about what's going to work better for them, and that's good as long as it's working for them. But for me, grounding myself every day in a few things that I strictly do for my disorder seems to help. So that's why I do this journal too, and that's why you can't like let other people's. I'm just giving you what I do, and I'm actually looking for other ways to add it. So, like I said, in my mood today, still a little down. I'm not running today. I don't feel like running. I'm just doing the walk and talk, because what's so strange, there's different kinds of hallucinations that happen, or delusions that happen when you're manic, and one of the ones that happen for me a lot is like audio, not hallucinations but delusions. So I would assume that audio was like the music that I was listening to on Apple Music. When there's a station that they curate based on your listening, and sometimes those songs would be so spot on that sometimes those would be spot on songs that you would feel like they're almost like messages from or something. That's how I felt. Like these songs were sent to me from God, and they were songs to get me motivated to run and to run harder. And you know how like when you go to the gym or whatever and you see the people that would get pumped up, or like even a karate guy that like pumps himself up and breathes and like gets mentally in the mindset to break a stack of bricks or to lift a bunch of weights or whatever it is. That's what I have to do to get myself into like an exercise mode. And the problem with that is I started getting stuck in that mode. Like it never went out. So, do you have Twitch? I am live on Steal a Brain Rot. I can check you out, brother. I used to have Twitch. I used to do a show on there, but it was a comedy show. But I can check it out. I don't know much about Twitch. So, anyways, I'm down a little bit today, but I'm okay. I'm not like in the gutter. I'd say I'm like at a 4. I didn't sleep well. Sleep's really important for us that have the disorder. Even having a couple nights of bad sleep is not great, and for some reason I've been having just some really vivid dreams lately, which feel as real life sometimes when you're in the dream. So I don't know if they're causing me to be like restless or something when I'm sleeping. I'm not actually getting into, I don't know shit about sleep cycle. Take my medicine before I go to bed, and it knocks me out within about an hour. And then I wake up and I don't check my watch to see how many hours I slept. You know, I don't wear a watch to sleep. I don't know how much I trust any of that kind of technology. Not that it's stealing my data. I just don't know how accurate that kind of stuff is. So I usually just go based on how I feel. Do I feel rested? Do I feel lethargic? Do I feel depressed? And today I feel kind of lethargic and depressed probably. And I think some of that's due to just not ever, but I think that if I'm dreaming, like I've been saying, like I'm having dreams, I think that means that I'm in a deep sleep. I don't know what. So anyways, I don't know if the dreams, you know how like if you're on an adventure and in one of your dreams while you're sleeping, you wake up tired from that adventure. I think that's what's happening. So, anyways, got that going on. I'm trying to walk really fast right now because there's people coming across the street that might hear me. So, do a little running, get in front of them. There's a pond I like to walk over to. That's on my route. That's where I'm headed. So, go check out this pond. I think a big part of depression is also like I'm doing my best, I think, to try and find a job within the mental health care world. You know what I mean? Like, we kind of determined after my last manic episode, which was probably the most severe, or at least equal to the most severe episode that I had. And I have rapid cycling, meaning I've had multiple manic episodes within a year. But I don't think I was on the correct medication, from the one when I got diagnosed to my latest one. And I got some anyways, I feel much better now, like more stable and kind of sure of myself, of what I have and how to look for more triggers and look for more signs that are telling me what, if I'm spooling up or going down or what. So, and maybe that just comes with the experience of having the disorder. The longer you have it, the better you are at detecting, your own emotions. So, see you later, brother. Sorry. So anyways, I've been trying to get into the healthcare, mental health arena and take my experience of going manic and going to the depressive side, and my experiences of going to be hospitalized and stuff like that, and take those to the community and help others who might be going through that. So it's frustrating when you don't know where to start. You just feel like you're kind of reaching out blindly to other people, that don't even know you, and the way you're reaching out is like, hey, I have this disorder, can I work for you? It's kind of weird. It's a good thing if I can get recognized to having some value, with my experience. If my experience of mania and my experience of depression can add some kind of value, that's a good thing. But it is odd to be on that path. It's just totally different. Morning. So I'm doing so I guess if you guys know anybody that's hiring peer supporters, let me know. Preferably in the Wichita area. If I could get on as a peer support I don't know if they're called peer support therapists or peer supporter. That's what I'm trying to do. Along with just this, I'm trying to grow my channel here to reach other people who might be going through the same thing I'm going through. Just kind of like what I'm going through is the post-mania dip, and trying not to fall into the classic depression side, because the last time I went full-blown depression, that was the worst. Couldn't get out of bed, all this stuff. So it's like once I snapped out of my psychosis, which an antipsychotic will do that to me, I'll snap right out of it. Once I snapped out of my psychosis, it was like, okay, now what do I do not to fall? You know what I mean? What do I do not to fall? And so I started this journal and trying to just keep a closer eye on everything. Because I can't do it again. I don't want to do it again. So, not that I think that the being hospitalized, being crazy in the hospital, all of the wreckage that I caused from my last one is too much. Some of it's too much to even process. That's why I do this. So, anyways, I'm just rambling on. That's what it is. You just kind of ramble on. Sorry if you don't like it. But I do appreciate all of you who have reached out and left comments and seem to be getting some kind of help out of this. It's the only way I can help right now that I can think of others. So I'm glad that I'm doing it. I'm glad that it gets recognized, even if it's just a few people. But so my moods for my energy levels, probably a 4 today. And things I'm looking forward to, though, I do have the opportunity to go watch a play tonight, so that's going to be fun. Like, I got things to look forward to today. Sometimes it's hard if you're sitting at home alone post episode, nothing going on, no one to talk to, nothing to do. I can see where that might feel tremendously lonely. This disease is tremendously lonely at times. Because even when you're around other people, they don't know what you've been through, and you can do your best to describe it, but sometimes it's scary. So I'm kind of grateful that today I get to see my brother, and I get to see we're going to go work on a project together. So that puts me in a better mood, even if it's a project unrelated to this and unrelated to what I've been working on. It's still good. This is the pond I was talking about. When I was manic, one time I was come down to this pond, and it was snowing or like icy. So rather than, I ran like 7 miles, but all the way around this pond, which is maybe a 1/4 mile pond, and I did it all in the rocks. There's little rocks bed that that goes in next to the water there, all the way around the pond. So that's the kind of weird training shit I would do, is, you know, make something that was already hard 10 times more difficult for no reason. So anyways, thank you guys for supporting the mood journal, and thank you for watching. And we usually end in affirmations, so I don't have any off the top of my head. I should probably like keep my favorites right there on the top of my head, but you know, in the words of Forrest Gump's mom, you know, don't let anybody tell you you're different. You know what I mean? If God wanted us all to be the same, he'd have given us all braces on our legs. So just remember that. I'm gonna get out of here. Be good to yourself. Don't let your meatloaf have an okay day.